He's here. My message this morning is entitled Perfect Peace. Do you have perfect peace this morning? I can tell you how to have it. Isaiah 26 and verse 3 says, Thou wilt keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee, because he trusteth in thee. Do you have perfect peace this morning? If you don't have perfect peace, I can tell you why you don't have it. You've been swayed. The Bible said, Thou wilt keep him in perfect peace whose mind is stayed. That word stayed means fixed or settled. One who cannot be changed in his attitude toward God. One whose mind is fixed. I used to read that verse. It said, Thou wilt keep him in perfect peace whose mind is stayed on thee. And being a country boy and being from the country, I tell you the way I interpreted that verse. I thought that meant you had to think about the Lord 24 hours a day in order to have perfect peace. And I thought, well, goodness, who can think 24 hours a day, every second of every minute and every minute of every hour, just think of nothing but Jesus? And so I always just thought it was kind of beyond reach and kind of an impossible thing to have, just perfect peace. But I got studying about that word stayed. Thou wilt keep him in perfect peace whose mind is stayed on thee. Here's an example. The 3 Hebrew children facing the fiery furnace. They said, if you don't bow to the golden image at the sound of the music, you're going to be cast alive into the burning fiery furnace. They replied to the king, and they said, Be it known unto thee, O king, our God whom we serve is able to deliver thee, to deliver us out of the burning fiery furnace. But if not, be it known unto thee, we will not bow nor worship nor serve thy golden image. They said, regardless of the outcome, our mind is stayed. Our mind is fixed and settled. Our attitude, our opinion of God is not going to change. So just heat up the furnace and come what may, our mind is stayed. Our heart is fixed. Our opinion is set and fixed. We're not going to change in our attitude about God. Now, you know what happens to us? We allow the circumstances and the things of life to sway us and to change us in our opinions and our attitudes about God and about worship and things like that. And the next thing you know, there's turmoil going on the inside of our heart. But I want to tell you a way this morning that you can have perfect peace is to settle in your heart that you are not going to allow the circumstances of life to determine whether or not that you have the peace of God. And regardless of what comes or goes, that your mind is set, it is fixed, it is settled on God. You're not going to change. You're not going to change. There may be some of you this morning going through turmoil. There may be something you're praying about. Oh, God, you need to do this. Oh, God, I need that. And you must move for me. I've got to have this. And you've got to do this. And you've got to do that. I want to tell you the way you can go out of here this morning with perfect peace. Whatever that situation is, just come get on your knees this morning and say, God, I know you're able. I know you can do it just like that. But I just want to let you know this morning, if you don't do what I'm praying for, if it don't turn out the way I think, I just want you to know I'm going to keep on loving you. My opinion of you, my attitude of you is not going to be changed. It's not going to be swayed. My heart is fixed on you. You can leave here today with perfect peace. If it's a fiery furnace, you can walk through the furnace like the 3 Hebrew children did, sing Amazing Grace, stick your tongue out at the devil, and have victory in your soul at the same time. Amen? Perfect peace. Do you want it? Do you want it? Listen to what they said. They said down in verse number 13, O Lord, or verse number 12, Lord, thou wilt ordain peace for us, for thou also hast wrought all our works in us. O Lord our God, other lords, listen to this, other lords beside thee have had dominion over us. And you know what it is, something to have dominion over you, have control over you. And they confessed, and they said, Lord, other lords beside thee have had dominions over us. Are you letting something else or something else rule your life and have dominion over you this morning? You want perfect peace? Listen at the next verse. He said, but by thee only will we make mention of thy name. They are dead. They shall not live. They are deceased. They shall not rise. Therefore hast thou visited and destroyed them and made all their memory to perish. You want to have perfect peace this morning? Fix and settle your mind upon the Lord and let all these other gods die. He said, I am the Lord, beside me there is no other. Is he Lord in your life this morning? He is here, and he's calling out your name. And he can touch you this morning, and you'll never be the same. Would you like to leave this service this morning with perfect peace? Would you come do what I simply said? Just come and make a commitment to the Lord. I don't know what your situation is. I don't know what your need is. I don't know what you're praying about. But if you come this morning and say, Lord, I'm putting this in your hands. I just want you to know that my mind is stable. My mind is fixed. My mind is settled. And I'm not going to change my attitude toward you regardless of the outcome. You can leave here in perfect peace. And listen, folks, in the hands of the Lord, let all these other things that have dominion over us, let them die. And let him be Lord over all. Put yourself totally in the Lord's hands, the best place in the world. I shared this last Sunday night, and I just feel like I ought to say it again. Last Sunday night I told about Dr. Curtis Hudson being diagnosed with cancer a year and a half ago. And he went to the doctor, and they diagnosed him with cancer in advanced stages. And he went to a second doctor for a second opinion. And the second doctor agreed with everything the first doctor had said. But the second doctor he went to for a second opinion was a Christian doctor, and he made this statement to Brother Hudson. He said, the best advice that I can give you is to put yourself in the hands of the Lord. And he said, when that doctor told me that, he said, the way I interpreted what he was saying was, there's nothing I can do for you. I'm sending you home to die with cancer. And he said, I didn't want him to tell me that. I wanted him to tell me he could treat me with radiation, or he could treat me with chemotherapy, and we could confine this and take care of it. And he said, I didn't want to hear those words. The best thing I can tell you to do is just put yourself in the hands of the Lord. And he said, when I left there and I was going down the road in my car, he said, I got to thinking about what I was saying and what I was expecting. And he said, what I was really saying was that I'd rather be in the hands of that doctor than in the hands of the Lord. That I felt like that doctor, that medical doctor, could do more for me than the Lord could. And he said, then I realized I was going to have to practice what I've been preaching all these years. And he said it wasn't an easy thing, but he said after much prayer, reading the Bible, and friends praying with him, he said, I put the situation in the Lord's hands. To make a long story short, a year and a half later, he's cancer-free. Huh? You can't be in any better hands than the Lord's hands. And when the doctors say the best thing you can do is pray or put yourself in the Lord's hands, there's nothing I can do for you, that don't mean it's over. God's the only one that determines when it's over. Amen? So if you want perfect peace this morning, why don't you come put yourself in the Lord's hands? And there may be people here this morning with heavy burdens that you don't have any peace. There may be some people here away from the Lord this morning that you don't have any peace. But I want David and them to sing this chorus again. He is here. And I want you to know he is here. And I want you to know you can touch him. And you can leave this place today and never be the same. You can have perfect peace when you leave here today. If you're not saved, you can come and make peace with God and leave with the peace of God. A peace that passeth all understanding. Whatever your need is, would you stand with us as they sing this verse? And I feel like God wants to move. That God wants some folks in this place today to stay your mind upon Him, to fix and to settle in your heart that you're not going to be swayed by the circumstances that surround your life. Sing it.
He is here. Hallelujah. He is here. Amen.
Our mind is not going to be swayed. Say our mind.
Holy, holy, I will bless His name again. He is here. Listen closely. Hear Him calling out your name. He is here.
Don't let this moment pass.
You can touch Him.
Please don't let it pass while the Lord is speaking, moving in this service. Allow Him to meet the need of your life. Would you do that as we sing?
He is here. Hallelujah. He is here. Amen. He is here. Holy, holy, I will bless His name again. He is here. Listen closely. Hear Him calling out your name. He is here. You can touch Him. You will never be the same. This is holy ground.
Yes, it is.
We're standing on holy ground, for the Lord is present
true that is. How true that is. To stand in His presence is to stand in awe of Him. He is overwhelming. It is no wonder that one day when we get to heaven, we'll have to have a glorified body to stand in His presence. Folks, we're going somewhere. We haven't arrived there yet, but we're headed someplace. We're headed someplace. And who knows? It may be today. It may be tomorrow. Who knows when it'll be? I was reading this week, if you were to read on the tombstone of Ben Franklin, it would say these words: "Here lies all of Ben Franklin that will ever die." And I backed up and read that again. I said, I kind of like that. Here lies all of Ben Franklin that'll ever die. Now, I may not be a Ben Franklin, but I wouldn't mind that being on my tombstone. Amen? Because I want to tell you, to be absent from this body is to be present with the Lord. And the Lord gave up on these old bodies back in the garden when Adam disobeyed the Lord and sinned. But He put in an order for a new one, and He paid for it at Calvary. And it's going to be mine one of these days. Amen? It's good to be in the Lord's house. It's good to be in the Lord's house this morning.